Two shapes unlock the piano. You've got a bigger shape. You can call this a major shape. It covers the span of 3 keys. You can play a key on either side of the span, and you have what's called in musical terms a major third. It doesn't matter what note you start on. Here we're using blue blocks to represent the notes you play, and either a red or green block for the notes you skip over. So you could play a key, skip over these 3 keys, and then play another key. It does not matter where you start. You could start here on D flat, play a key, skip over 3 keys, play a next key. You can go back and forth with different rhythms. Our red block, our smaller block, is called a minor block. In musical terms, a minor third. Same principle applies. You skip over these notes and you play a note on either side. You can play this, starting again, from any key on the piano. It can be helpful to learn to start recognizing these patterns, almost as if they were their own thing. So when you play these 2 keys, your eyes see this in the middle. Your eyes see and recognize that there's 3 keys in the middle. Sometimes you have different assortments of what that group looks like, but it's always going to be one of those 3 patterns. Either 2 whites and a black, same reverse image, or 2 blacks and a white. The same applies for our minor block. It can be helpful to learn to see the pattern as if it's its own thing. You play the keys, you look at what's in the middle. This one is simpler. It's always either a black and a white or 2 whites, and that is it. Now, things get more fun when you start combining these 2 blocks together. Already, you can see 3 here, so we need a green block, 2 here, so we need a red block. With harmony, the foundational tone is the primary tone. It comes to be something of a home base. Music mirrors language in that the way to express music is to tell a story, sometimes of anticipation, resolve, conflict. The same stories we tell with our words, but it brings to life the emotional side that's felt. So when we stack these together, we now have what's called a major chord. We get its name from the major block. The way our ears hear music, it latches on to some tones. When you build this block first, it latches onto that as a primary tone. Sometimes a major interval is referred to as a bright or happy sound, and a minor interval is referred to as a dark or sad sound. These are its primary functions, but context is very relevant. Just like basic words are made out of the same letters, you get very different meanings depending on how you arrange them. So with music, you get very different tones depending on the rhythm, the spacing, the timing. Playing a major chord by itself will typically have a happy sound, and this becomes your foundation. This becomes your primary tone. This is called a major chord because this sound is what your ear primarily latches onto. It gets its name from that block and not this block. If you want a minor chord, all you have to do is put the minor block first. Now you have a minor chord. Not only that, but you have all 12 major chords and all 12 minor chords on the piano learned just by learning these 2 arrangements.